All right, family, pull up a chair. Let me tell you about something rumbling beneath the soil of West Africa right now. It's not thunder, though its impact might be just as earth-shaking. It's the sound of steel meeting earth, of hammers driving spikes, of a dream long deferred, finally surging forward. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, three nations etched deep into the soul of the Sahel, often painted by the world in shades of struggle, are doing the unthinkable. They're laying down the tracks for the largest railway project Africa has ever seen. And right at the front, shoveling dirt, rallying spirits, and driving the engine of this monumental effort, is Burkina Faso. This isn't just about trains. This is about freedom. Freedom of movement. Freedom of trade. Freedom from the chains of a past that dictated our roots and our riches. This is the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, declaring, loud and clear over the screech of metal, that the future of Africa will be built by Africans, for Africans, on African terms. For generations, moving anything, people, goods, hope, across these vast, sun-baked lands felt like pushing against the desert wind itself. Crumbling roads choked with trucks, journeys measured in grueling days or weeks instead of hours. Costs so high they strangled trade before it could breathe. Think about it. Farmers watching their harvests spoil before reaching markets. Miners seeing their wealth swallowed by transport fees. Families separated by distances that felt impossible. That isolation wasn't just physical. It was economic. It was social. It was a vulnerability. And Burkina Faso, landlocked and often underestimated, felt that sting sharper than most. But under President Ibrahim Traoré, that feeling of being boxed in, of being dependent on routes controlled by others, has ignited a fierce determination. The answer? Connect. Not just within borders, but beyond them. Bind the Sahel together, not with words, but with unbreakable steel rails. So picture this. Thousands of kilometers of modern railway, arcing across the heart of West Africa. A powerful artery linking the vibrant energy of Ouagadougou, the historic pulse of Bamako, and the resilient spirit of Niamey. This isn't some dusty colonial-era relic they're patching up. Number this is a 21st century lifeline being forged from scratch. Think high-capacity freight lines built to haul the future. Copper gleaming from Niger's earth. Gold unearthed in Mali. The rich agricultural bounty bursting from Burkina Faso's fields. All rolling together, efficiently, securely, towards the Atlantic coast. Imagine goods that once took weeks, bogged down by treacherous roads and endless checkpoints, now flowing in mere days. That's not just convenience, that's an economic revolution. For the trader in Bobo Dioulasso, the miner in the Nigerian desert, the farmer outside Bamako, this railway isn't abstract infrastructure. It's cheaper goods, faster access to markets, higher profits, a tangible lifeline pulling them into the center of a thriving regional economy. Burkina Faso isn't just building a railway. It's building prosperity, mile by hard-won mile. And let's talk about how this is happening, because it's just as revolutionary as the tracks themselves. Remember the old ways? Colonial powers laid railways like greedy veins, narrow-gauge tracks snaking straight from mines to ports, designed solely to suck resources out, not to connect people or build nations within Africa. The blueprint was extraction, pure and simple. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are tearing up that old exploitative map. This railway, it's designed by Sahelians, for Sahelians. Its purpose isn't to serve distant foreign markets first, it's to bind their economies together, to create a powerful internal market, to foster trade between brothers and sisters across borders that were often drawn arbitrarily by outsiders. The funding. Forget the IMF or former colonial powers dictating terms. This project is fueled by African development banks, sovereign wealth funds, and homegrown public-private partnerships. It's African capital building African futures. That's not just financial independence, that's profound sovereignty. It means the decisions, the profits, the control, it all stays right here. Burkina Faso, spearheading this, is sending a message that echoes far beyond its borders. We are done with dependency. We own our vision, and we are building it ourselves. The impact on the ground in Burkina Faso is already electric. This isn't just a project for engineers in hard hats. It's a national awakening of potential. Think of the jobs, thousands upon thousands. Not just laying tracks, but welding steel in local factories, springing up in Koudougou, designing smart logistics software in Ouagadougou tech hubs, pouring concrete for new stations, rising in towns once considered backwaters. Young men who might have faced bleak prospects, or worse, been vulnerable to the siren song of extremism, fueled by despair, are now apprentices, welders, drivers, technicians. They're earning wages, yes, but more importantly, they're earning pride and purpose. They're building something monumental for their own nation, their own region, with their own hands. See that young man learning to operate heavy machinery? He's not just moving dirt, he's moving his destiny. The ripple effect is stunning. Food vendors feeding the massive workforce, mechanics repairing equipment, textile makers sewing uniforms, small businesses blooming along the planned routes, sensing the coming surge of people and commerce. It's a grassroots economic boom radiating out from the steel spine of the railway. Burkina Faso is proving that true development isn't trickled down. It's built up from the sweat and skill of its people. But this project carries a weight even heavier than freight cars, the burden of insecurity. The Sahel has faced immense challenges, yet Burkina Faso understands you cannot bomb your way to lasting peace. You build it. This railway is a powerful weapon against despair and instability. By thrusting development deep into neglected regions, building stations, depots, even new communities along the route, it brings the state's presence not just as security forces, but as opportunity. It tells those isolated communities, you are not forgotten. You are vital. Early signs are already showing in northern Burkina Faso, drops in recruitment for extremist groups as young men find legitimate work and hope on the railway. It's tangible proof that a job, dignity, and a stake in the future are the strongest antidotes to instability. Logistically, the railway is a game changer for security too. Troops, medical supplies, and aid can move faster and farther than ever before. Responding to crises becomes proactive, not reactive. The tracks become arteries of security and stability, binding the nation and the region together, making it harder for chaos to take root. This railway isn't just moving goods, it's moving Burkina Faso and its partners towards a more secure, unified future. Zoom out for a second. Look at the map. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, 3 landlocked nations, often portrayed as hindered by geography. This railway is their defiant answer. They're transforming landlocked into land-linked. This is the Pan-African dream made manifest in steel and sweat. It's a powerful rejection of fragmentation. It's 3 nations saying, our strength is in our unity. Our future is intertwined. The connection of Ouagadougou, Bamako, Niamey isn't just a route. It's the birth of a new economic and political force in West Africa. And Burkina Faso, driving this vision, is stepping onto the continental stage, not as a supplicant, but as a leader, a unifier, an engine of integration. This is just the beginning. Plans are already whispering of expansion, westward to link with the bustling ports of Côte d'Ivoire, eastward towards Chad, weaving an ever larger web of African trade and connection. Burkina Faso, positioned at the heart of this network, is poised to become a vital continental hub, a keystone in the arch of Africa's economic future. This ambition transcends mere commerce. It's about reclaiming our narrative, our dignity, our right to determine how we move and how we grow together. So, what are we witnessing? More than trains, more than tracks, we are seeing the steel spine of a new Sahel being forged. Burkina Faso, under President Traoré's determined leadership, isn't just fixing old lines. It's laying down the very foundation for a future defined by sovereignty, shared prosperity, and unbreakable bonds. It's a declaration that the Sahel, long defined by its challenges, is now defining its own destiny. It's proof that when African nations unite, reject the outdated scripts of dependency, and invest boldly in themselves and each other, they can move mountains, or in this case, move continents. The sound you hear isn't just the clang of construction, it's the heartbeat of a rising Africa, growing stronger, more connected, and fiercely independent with every kilometer laid. The journey ahead will have challenges, no doubt. But Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have started the engine. They've chosen their direction. They're building their own tracks, and they're moving full steam ahead, together. The Chronicle Traore speaks loudest, not in words, but in the relentless, unifying rhythm of progress rolling down the rails. This is our future, being built right now. Pay attention.